Okay, hi. I just wanted to explain a little bit about my guitar, about how I set it up, and about why I play it like I do. It's an Ibanez AEL 108 MD. The first thing you'll probably notice about it is that it's got 8 strings. Um, it's designed to be played with the middle two courses in octaves, like a 12-string guitar. Um, I actually only use the fourth course, so I play it with 7 strings. I play it with with the fourth string doubled. I hope you can see that. I think you probably can. Um, and I do that for a couple of reasons. I still get like a little bit of that 12-string sound, like a little bit of that 12-string. Just a bit of that 12-string ring, that like slightly chorusy effect, which I really like. The second thing is that there are certain voicings, chord voicings that work really nicely in the tuning that I play in, which I'll explain just now, which really benefit from having that top octave in, especially like the minor and the G. Yeah. So the tuning, I play with cap on 3rd fret, D, G, D, A, D, G. So that was from low to high. So D, 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 G, D. So that's the 2 Ds, the octave Ds. A, D, and then a G on top. That is like the Irish bouzouki. So the middle 4 strings are like the Irish bouzouki. I'm just going to start saying strings now. I'm going to stop. I'm just going to talk about the courses if it's 1 string, just for the sake of this bit, right? So the middle 4 strings, the middle 4 courses, are like an Irish bouzouki, so just G, D, A, D. Then the low D is like a Swedish sitten. They play that tuning, so like the Irish bouzouki, but with the low D as well in the bass. And then I've put a G on top. So my highest 4 strings are like DAG, like the first part of DADGAD. This tuning has loads of advantages. So I mostly play folk. I mostly play like accompanying folk stuff, and I like having big open ringing chords with lots of open strings and lots of drone notes, and this tuning allows for that. It's basically designed for that. So especially D. And G. I like really big, big, powerful, loud, ringing, like sort of quite drony, like a big drony sound, which I really like, and which is really great if you're playing in sessions or if you're playing with acoustic instruments which are louder, like accordions or bagpipes or violins even, or whatever. The next advantage of this particular tuning, so it plays really well in D, and it plays, yes. It also plays really nicely in G. And because it's open strings, because it's an open tuning, right? You've only got the roots, the fourths, and the fifths in there. It also allows you to alternate between major and minor really easily, which is great. So if I'm in like D major, I can switch to minor really easily. And and the same thing works in G, and I can also sort of play, can kind of play an A minor as well. It's slightly, yeah, it doesn't feel quite as natural, but it works as well. Then, yes, yeah, and then so the next thing to explain is the capo. I play it with the capo on third because that's like, I think of that as like my home position, because I mostly play in D and G because I play a lot of folk. But this, you know, with capo on first, I can play in C or F, and with capo on fifth, I can play in A or E, major or minor, and that gives me basically all of the keys I need to be able to jam along with 99% of of tunes that I hear at sessions, etc. One other reason, the one disadvantage to playing with the capo is that it makes the instrument slightly less resonant. And you lose a bit of volume, and you lose a little bit of bottom end. But again, another real nice thing about this is I've played a lot of bouzouki as well, and if you want to play in open positions on bouzouki, then you need to basically adjust capo to whatever key you're in. So if you're playing in G, you need the capo like right up on 10th. That creates all kind of tuning issues because you always need to slightly tune a bit if you're playing with the capo, but there's much more tolerance in the lower half of the neck, and I also find that keeping it on, like always playing with the capo on, creates less tuning problems than taking the capo off and then putting the capo on. I find that's going between no capo and capo are the times when you have to tune the most, whereas between first, third, and fifth, the tuning things are really, really minimal. So that saves me time. So that's the capo. That's how I use the capo, which means that actually the other advantage, the string set that I'm actually using, if I take the capo off, and it'll be out of tune now, but is from the first string is actually an E, just a normal E. The second string is a normal B. The third string is a F sharp, so that's just a G string which I've tuned down a half tone. Then the next course is a B. Now that's a custom string because finding a B in that octave is quite difficult. You either have to tune up an A, which is horrible because it's way too tight, or tune a D down 3 semitones, which is kind of loose. So I can't remember what gauge this string is, but I will put it in the comments if that's possible. But yeah, anyway, so that D is a custom string. Then the high D, that B is a custom string. That high B is just a normal high B. Then my fifth string is a normal low E, and my sixth string again is a custom, and I think it's a 0.062. It's tuned down to a B, so that's a B below the normal lowest E string of the guitar. But like I said, I don't think about that. I think about capo on third fret, and then it's just DGDADG, which it's nice as well because that allows me to use, apart from those two Bs, regular strings. And those two Bs, those gauges are super easy to find online. I'm still experimenting to find what the best ones are. And then the last advantage of this tuning is that for fingerstyle stuff, the range is bigger because I've got that extra low string on the bottom. The effect is, in standard tuning, you have 2 octaves between your 6th string and your 5th and your 1st string. Your 2 octaves between your 2 E's. On this guitar, I have 2 octaves between my 6th string and my 2nd string, which means that I can play melodies which go higher without having to shift position. And in fact, I have 2 complete octaves on the top 4 strings in the first 2 positions. So. And that makes melody playing incredibly convenient because I don't have to shift position a lot. And it also, because my bottom 2 strings are tuned in fourths, I can essentially use those how you would normally do bass accompaniment on in standard tuning. Yeah, so my thumb has that scale for bass notes, as you normally would in standard, but I've also got that range of melody note, and so yeah, I've got those whole top 2 octaves and still real easy access to those low bass notes, which makes fingerstyle stuff incredibly convenient and easy. Yeah, I genuinely love this tuning. I love the way that I have this guitar set up. It makes guitar playing incredibly simple and incredibly easy and enjoyable, basically. And I would thoroughly recommend it to anyone who, especially if you're into folk, especially if you are doing if you're doing a lot of backing, or if you're doing a lot of Irish stuff, or if you're doing a lot of things where droning big chords sound cool. But also if you're into fingerstyle, I would really recommend trying it, because it is just incredibly convenient, incredibly practical to play. Okay, cool. Well, I hope that gives you some insight into how and why I play this, like